It's not that something is extinguished. It's that something much deeper begins to awaken. She no longer seeks to be desired. She begins to desire herself. Carl Jung taught us that all repressed energy finds new ways to emerge. And when the heart stops pursuing immediate gratifications, the soul finally has space to speak. Have you wondered why so many women, after a time away from romantic desire, begin to dream more intensely, to feel more, to intuit better, to perceive the invisible with a clarity that seemed impossible before? It's not
To visibility, the Sigma female makes invisibility look powerful. She doesn't need to trend, to post, to prove. Her presence is an anti-permission slip, a reminder that being deeply rooted is more potent than being widely seen. She understands that power doesn't always raise its voice. Sometimes power whispers. Sometimes power sits in the corner, watching. Sometimes power leaves the room altogether. The aura that precedes her. It's not just presence, it's protection. She filters who can even approach her, not with arrogance, but with sacred discernment. Not everyone gets to access the garden. Not everyone has the key to that gate, and that's not elitism. It's energetic hygiene. She values her peace more than being perceived as nice. She doesn't make herself smaller so others can feel bigger. People don't just feel her energy. They feel their own energy shift because of her. That's real power. That's spiritual impact. And the truth is, it's not magic. It's intention. It's the fruit of years spent honoring her intuition, healing her wounds without applause, and refusing to perform under pressure. She didn't arrive here by accident. Her silence is hard-earned. Her stillness is practiced. Her peace is not passive. It's a warrior's calm. So when she enters, and the air feels different, it's not imagination, it's transmission. Point 2. Stillness isn't absence, it's precision. When the Sigma female is quiet, people assume she's absent. When she retreats, people label it withdrawal. But what they miss, every time, is this. Stillness is not the same as absence, it's precision. Most people speak to fill the air, they act to be seen, but she doesn't waste motion. She speaks when the words are clean, she acts when the path is aligned. Everything else, she lets it pass. She has trained herself to listen first, not just to others but to the frequency underneath their words. She notices what's not being said. She watches the micro-expressions, the tone, the shifts in rhythm. Her stillness gives her advantage. She gathers more data, senses more nuance, feels more deeply. To the untrained eye, she may seem slow to respond. But what's really happening is calibration. She's not reacting, she's attuning. She's measuring the truth in the room before giving anything of herself. This makes her seem unbothered, but that's not quite right. She's not numb, she's centered. And here's where it gets spiritual. This kind of stillness isn't just personality, it's power born from emotional mastery. She's done the inner work most avoid. She's sat with discomfort long enough to know its name. She doesn't flee. She watches it transform. Stillness, for her, is active. It's a field where insight ripens. It's where she distinguishes her truth from external noise. This is why people feel stripped around her. Their masks fall. Their distractions stop working. Because her energy demands clarity, not by force, but by contrast. And in a society where quick replies are currency and instant gratification is the rule, her slowness feels radical. She doesn't fear the pause in conversation. She doesn't rush to explain her silence, because she knows anything born from panic will lack power. She trusts the divine rhythm of things. She's not here to perform urgency. She's not here to participate in every conversation. She's not here to play the game. She only enters spaces that match her integrity. And if something feels even 2% off, she'll let it go. Not with bitterness, but with grace. That's why her stillness is not avoidance. It's clarity. It's a soul that no longer needs to defend its depth. Her stillness is her filter. It shows her what aligns and what contaminates. It protects her from spiritual clutter, and people misread her, constantly. They project their own discomfort with silence onto her. They mistake her calm for coldness. But here's the truth. Her stillness isn't passive. It's surgical. It's sacred. It's sharp. She's not checked out. She's zoomed in. Just not on you, not on the noise, but on what matters. And when she does move, when she does speak, everyone listens, because it's never accidental. It's never for show. It's always earned. Point 3. No need to lead or follow. She occupies the edge. The Sigma female lives outside the hierarchy. She's not the leader you expect. She's not the follower you assume. She doesn't care where she ranks. She's not here to climb a ladder someone else built. She's building her own path brick by brick, and she's doing it where no one else even thinks to look. This doesn't mean she lacks power, quite the opposite. She radiates influence without chasing attention. People follow her without realizing they're following. Why? Because she holds space in a way few can. In social dynamics, she sits at the edge, not to hide, but to observe. She's not trying to be the loudest in the room. She's observing the room, she's studying the flow, she's reading the energy, not the script. This placement, the edge, gives her an angle no one else sees. While others fight for center stage, she stays in the shadows, not from fear, but from freedom. Being at the edge gives her options. She can leave without a trace. She can speak without being expected. She can act from insight, not impulse. And people feel this deeply. They sense her unpredictability. They can't pin her down. They can't categorize her. And that makes them uncomfortable or addicted. The Sigma female is not controlled by external structures. She doesn't need applause. She doesn't wait for permission. Her value system is internal. Her compass points inward. She's not chasing leadership titles. She already leads herself, that's enough. And because she doesn't need power, power often gravitates toward her. The irony, people often assume she's trying to be different, but she's not performing anything, she's simply being true, and that truth, unfiltered and unfazed, disrupts every norm. And here's the deeper truth. The edge isn't lonely for her, it's home. It's where the noise fades and vision sharpens. It's where she can hear the voice of her soul without interference. So when you see her at the edge, not quite in, not quite out, understand this. She's exactly where she means to be. Not because she's lost, but because she's free. Point 4. Her silence is a container, not a cage. People fear silence because they confuse it with emptiness. They assume a quiet woman is holding something back. But the Sigma female's silence isn't holding anything back, it's holding everything in place. Her silence is not a void, it's a container, a deliberate space where energy is conserved, refined, and redirected with purpose. While most use words to control a room, she uses stillness to command it. She doesn't speak to convince, she doesn't need to. She speaks when the moment calls for it, and her timing is surgical. There's a difference between someone who's silent because they're scared, and someone who's silent because they already know. When the Sigma female chooses silence, it isn't submission, it's sovereignty. She's not biting her tongue, she's honoring her breath. And in that silence, she creates a field of energetic tension, not chaos, but focus. Others begin to notice things they hadn't before. Their own thoughts get louder in her presence. Their own emotions surface more quickly. Why? Because her silence doesn't distract, it amplifies. She doesn't try to make others comfortable. That's not her responsibility. Her silence becomes a kind of mirror, and if you're not ready to face yourself, it might feel like distance. But she's not being distant, she's being disciplined. The Sigma female uses silence as strategy. She lets others reveal themselves. She lets situations unfold before she inserts her energy. Because once she speaks, she changes the room, and she knows it. Her silence is also self-care. She doesn't owe emotional labor to everyone. She doesn't break her stillness just to soothe someone else's ego. And if she does speak, even briefly, it carries weight. You don't forget what she said, not because it was loud, but because it was real. We live in a world that equates talking with intelligence and performance with presence. But she knows better. She's not here to entertain. She's not here to convince you she's wise. She just is. And her silence is the gateway to that wisdom. And let's be clear, her silence isn't always peaceful. Sometimes it's her boundary. Sometimes it's her shield. Sometimes it's her weapon. But always, it's intentional. So if you find yourself in the presence of a Sigma female and she's quiet, don't assume she has nothing to say. Assume she's already said it, to herself, to the universe, and now she's watching to see if your energy understands it without words. That's not silence, that's spiritual language. Point 5, eye contact like a mirror. It makes you confront yourself. You don't just look into her eyes, you look into yourself through them. There's something unnerving about the way the Sigma female holds eye contact. Not because it's aggressive, not because it's demanding, but because it's true. She doesn't flinch, she doesn't dodge. She looks fully, completely, without apology. And in that gaze, something happens. People feel seen, not in the superficial way, not in the you noticed my outfit way, but in the you saw through my mask kind of way. The Sigma female's eyes don't scan the surface. They read energy, they scan intention, they filter illusion.